Hello. Enlarging my conversation. This is my interpersonal communication project by Linda Archie. Next slide. Interpersonal communication outline, introduction. What is interpersonal communication? Identifying an overarching goal. Description of my background and behavior blends influence on my conversation, both positively and negatively. Define potential barriers in my interpersonal content and how I would deal with each one. Identify and provide solutions to noise pollution both internally and externally. My plan of action for my overarching goal that improves my interpersonal communication skills, and my conclusion. Next slide. What is interpersonal communication? According to Stewart, the term interpersonal labels the kind of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. According to Collins, sometimes these relationships are smooth, mutually supportive, and characterized by clear, concise, and efficient communication. Often, however, interpersonal relations are strained and marked by conflict. Modern men and women take pride in their individualism, independence, and self determination, but sometimes these traits cut us off from other people and make us more insensitive, lonely, and unable to get along with others. Note, when the people involved in the communication allows their uniqueness without preconceived notions and prejudices to prevent them from developing relationships, then interpersonal communication has taken place. Next slide. Overarching goal. In learning to listen to others, I need to realize I don't need to solve everyone's problems. This will help me in effective counseling ministry and with my coworkers. While I'm listening to others, I miss some verbal and nonverbal cues because I feel the need to offer a solution to the person's problems. This robs the person of the right to solve their own problems. This characteristic robs others of self-value. It also burns me down with carrying other people's issues. This can become unhealthy, and most of the time, I end up caring more about their problem than they care. This will relieve me of carrying burdens I was not designed to carry. Burley Allen stated, people feel more self-confident when they can solve their own problems and think them out themselves. Next page, background and behavior blends. At 5 years old, my mother handed me off to an older lady down the street. I don't remember a lot, but this woman was cruel to me. She would beat me and tell me how I would never be anything because my mother wasn't anything. I was the second child, and growing up, I could not understand why my mother chose to give me away. This affected me greatly, but considering the alternative my older sister and younger brother endured, I got the better deal. This led to me having a troublesome life. Positive attributes: I'm empathetic, forgiving, optimistic, resourceful, committed, and encouraging. My negative attributes is rebellious, guilty, intolerant, introverted, non-assertive, and undecisive. Next slide. Background and behavior blends continued. I believe the harsh treatment and put downs I received as a young child crippled my communication skills and in my developing relationships. Anthony says, while cognitive understandings of development focus on the intellect, psychodynamic theories take into account the emotions and their influences on development of personality. I learned early in life not to let others get to know me or get too close to me. I learned I had to somehow be what others wanted me to be in order to satisfy them. Yount states, too much guilt, especially false guilt, can lead children to develop a malignant sense of inhibition. The fear of excessive punishment from parents or false guilt imposed by adults can cause children to withdraw into their own internal world. Next slide. Behavior blends continued. I would later end up in life sabotaging relationships because I never developed the proper interpersonal communication skill set for myself to have any self-worth or to invite others into whole and healthy relationships. Behavior blends. The behavior blend is the personality test that helps a person gain an understanding of themselves as well as others. There are 4 types of behaviors that blend together to create the personality type. It is known as the DISC model from Carminel. Next slide. Behavior blends continued. My behavior blend is CIS according to Carbonell. Passive, interested in people, influencing, need to be more assertive, need to be more decisive. This is expected of me. The S model, according to Carbonell. Submissive, shy, easygoing, servant, security-oriented, and loyal. I am ISC, according to my Uniquely You assessment. Behavior blend, positive influences. Next slide. Quiet spectator, friendliness, prefer peace and harmony, flexible, follower, hard worker, people skills, according to Carmenelle. Next slide, positive barriers. Not owning my part in the problem, according to Peterson. Listening without being defensive, according to Burley Allen. Stop the need to rescue, Burley Allen. Self-knowledge of my personality behavior, according to Burley Allen. Awareness of the need for self-disclosure, Stewart. And learning to handle conflict positively, according to Stewart. Behavior blend, negative influences. Turn people off with my opinions. Withdrawn, lack of assertiveness, indecisiveness, emotionally controlled, resistance to criticism, and can be critical, according to Carbonell. Next slide, behavior solutions. Recognizing if I have the problem, then I express the problem honestly so that it can be discussed. Learn to listen without being defensive, really hearing what the other person has to say. Allow others to solve their own problems instead of feeling responsible to solve the problems for them. Studying my personality blend so that I am aware of how I interject with communication. Take down the wall to allow others in that will help them know and understand me better. And understand that conflict does not necessarily have to be negative, and approach it with an openness for resolution. Next slide, noise pollution. Burley Allen says, one major barrier to effective listening is that in this society we have equated speaking with mastery and power. Saracola stated, work at listening. Listening is not a passive activity. Active listening is hard work. It involves an expenditure of energy characterized by a rise in body temperature, increased adrenaline levels. Good listeners know that active listening is work, not relaxation. There are two types of noise pollution, internal and external. Next slide. Internal noise pollution, hearing what you want to hear. The solution is don't allow the past to dictate your perception. Internal biased listening. The solution would be value what the other person is saying. Listen for the green flag words and don't miss the meaning behind what is being said. Emotional listening. Don't allow emotions to interfere with listening activities, according to Burley Allen. Noise pollution continued. Next slide. External. Clock watching. Solution is establishing a time when you can focus. Loud noises. Find space that you can concentrate on what is said. Room temperatures. Establish a comfortable environment. Fidgeting. Give the talker your undivided attention. Interruption. Find time and space to prevent outside interruptions, according to Burley Allen. Next slide. Plan of action. Intentional listening. Stop the talker to repeat for extra clarity. Regardless if I feel the information given is unimportant, remember it is important to the talker. Avoid the need to solve their problems. Give them the self-worth of solving their own problems. Avoid tuning others out or doing something else to show I'm disinterested. Learn how to face conflict positively. Don't take it personal. And work on being indecisive. Continue to study on interpersonal communication. According to Stewart, there's a direct link between the quality of your communication and the quality of your life. My conclusion, we tend to think that winning is what interpersonal communication is all about. We don't realize that communication is who we are and not what we do, according to Stewart. I realize how much my lack of interpersonal communication skills have prevented me from such success in my life, work, ministry, and relationships. This course has led me to see things about myself that I did not want to admit. It also allowed me to understand why I perceive some things in life as I perceive them. It also helped me to embrace the positive characteristics that others appreciate. This course has helped me to see a need to continue to study interpersonal communication to help me build a more quality of life with others. Ramadru stated, the heart of interpersonal communication is shared meanings between people. We just don't exchange words when we communicate. Thank you.